Hey man, stay safe world. You already know what's going on. We got to talk about this situation with Donald Glover. Basically, people are wondering if he's afraid of black women because of this new interview that he did with himself, where he basically brought out the question that's on a lot of people's mind, and it's basically blowing up on Twitter right now and a lot of different shit. We're gonna get into this in this whole reaction with a lot of different sides to it, including shit from like Dr. Umar. Like, man, let's get into it, man. So real say shit, let's go. But before we do, I'm gonna need you to like, comment, subscribe, and let's run this shit up, man. So Donald Glover basically interviewed himself for like Interview Magazine, where as you can tell they do interviews and shit on a crazy concept. I guess he was wearing angel wings and crutches at a Taco Bell on some random shit. I feel like this man for the cover of the interview was like, yo, let's do like the most random outlandish shit that we could think of. So basically he like interviews himself, and one of the main questions that people have been bringing up today is like, so he made this show Atlanta. If you didn't watch it already, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Season 3 is out now. It's a fire show. It was rated actually best show on television, and it's a fire show about the black experience and like black like artists and shit like that basically go down. And he's just the one that sort of like is the channel for this happening. And I feel like it's like a super Afrocentric type show, but it's really just talking about like, it's more than just like an artist. It's just an artist's like sort of story, but it talks about like the black experience sort of in America. So that's why people find it fire, and it like puts it in a humorous way so people can understand really what the fuck is good. But people were super confused about him because he has a white wife. And I guess she's like white and Asian, so people were super confused as to how he's able to make something like this when he has a black wife. And I guess he was basically saying that you can't really prove what his blackness is or anything because it's like an experience of everyone that's black. There's a lot of different people black. But in the interview, he basically goes and he asks himself a question where he basically feels that a lot of people, I guess, are asking. So it's pretty introspective, you know, like, I guess you wouldn't ask yourself like the tough questions. That's what you would think. But basically, it all kind of stems back to the Dr. Umar point that he made like a big ass quote on when he was commenting on the This Is America video. He said, Childish Gambino's video contained powerful metaphors, but once the contradiction of a white queen surfaced, it diluted his message. Yes, he has the right to discuss the black experience, but wanted to have that experience with a white woman. Clearly, he doesn't value it enough. Basically, like Dr. Umar Johnson, he basically says this because he's like, if you don't already know, he's like a super pro-black guy, but he's so pro-black that he's kind of like, he's against interracial marriages and shit like that.
Simply put, any black man who is with a woman who's not an African herself is going to have a difficult time getting respect from me. I believe black men need to be with black women. The black family is under attack.
So he basically said that Childish Gambino, Donald Glover, has the right to be able to talk about this stuff, but like he has a white wife, so it negates everything that he's saying basically because he got famous and got a white wife, which I guess is kind of the point I was talking about before. And I really feel like it kind of does matter. Like, I don't know, if you're not a part of about the black community, then you probably don't really see, like, I guess it's not really like it's a problem, because it's like having who you're with isn't really deciding about your blackness. But I guess it's the whole thing of like, if you love your people so much, you would find a black like a spouse, is kind of what they're saying. I don't necessarily know. I don't think that's true. And I really feel like you could just really love whoever at the end of the day. It's not like it's the police. But I guess he's saying like, if you're going to be speaking on pro-black shit like that, you should really live by what you preach. So basically in the interview, he says, speaking of Malcolm X, do you hear what Dr. Umar said about you? Laughing. Yeah. What do you think? He says to himself. And he basically responds like, sorry if it's confusing, but it's a fucking interview with himself. He says, it's old footage. I think he has some interesting ideas, but I disagree with him on that one. And then he responds to himself saying, I do think it's interesting to separate marriage as a political act. And he says, yeah, I guess. But then where does it end? How would I know if something's for me if it's all a political act? How would I know if something's for me if it's all a political act? Then he says, are you afraid of black women? And he says to himself, why are you asking me that? And then he responds, I feel like your relationship to them has played a big part in your narrative. I feel like you're using black women to question my blackness. Alright, are you gonna teach your kids how to be black? Well, yeah, should someone else? So basically, he's asking himself, is he afraid of black women? And I don't really know. Honestly, in that fucking response, I really can't even tell, because he's really fucking talking about himself. So I don't know. Is he admitting that he's afraid of black women? I really don't even understand, man, at this time. Like, you could try to fucking decipher it if you want to, but at the end of the day, man, I guess he's leaving it up to your opinion. That's the whole reason, I guess, why he's fucking interviewing himself in the first place. Who the fuck would even think of that shit? I don't even know, man, but I don't know. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. You think that it's like sort of like backwards that he has a white wife instead of having a black queen? Like, because of the fact that like that it kind of like takes off the fact that he's even like making Atlanta, and it doesn't really count because he's doing it with a white queen syndrome, as Dr. Umar says. I don't really know. It's whatever the fuck you think, man. Real stay safe shit, you already know. Let me know in the comments what y'all think. Peace.